Let's start with a number that should make every BJJ player listen up. According to one study, a staggering 78.6% of practitioners have experienced an injury to their fingers or hands. It's a brutal truth about our sport. The very tools we use to control our opponents are the ones most likely to get mangled. But it doesn't stop there. Our knees, our shoulders, our lower backs, these are the pillars of our body, and in Jiu-Jitsu, they are under constant, relentless attack. We're not just talking about that sudden, traumatic pop you hear in a chaotic scramble. We're also talking about the slow, grinding wear and tear that builds up over months and years, turning a little ache into a chronic, debilitating problem. This is the hidden price we pay on the mats. It's the missed training sessions, the forfeited competitions, the surgeries, and for some, the heartbreaking choice to quit the sport they love. But what if the 3 most common fight enders could be systematically prevented? What if understanding why you get hurt is the key to unlocking a lifetime of healthy training? The price of the grip, finger and hand catastrophe. Let's start with one of the most widespread and nagging injuries in BJJ. The one that affects almost everyone yet is often dismissed as just part of the game: finger and hand injuries. While they may not cause the most time off, studies show an incredible number of grapplers, nearly 8 out of 10, report injuring their fingers and hands. That number reflects every death grip on a sleeve, every spider guard hook, and every desperate attempt to break a lapel grip. For a grappler, your hands are everything, and they pay a heavy price. The problem is both mechanical and anatomical. The tiny joints in your fingers are a delicate network of ligaments and tendons. They simply weren't designed for the constant high-velocity yanking and twisting that Jiu-Jitsu requires. Every time you grip a gi, you're stressing these structures. Multiply that by hundreds of reps per session, several times a week, for years. It's a classic overuse nightmare. The injuries show up in painful ways: sprains, strains, and dislocations. There's jersey finger, a nasty injury where the tendon is ripped right off the bone. Over time, this repetitive damage leads to chronic inflammation or synovitis, making your joints stiff and painful. Eventually, this can lead to early onset osteoarthritis. Those gnarled, swollen knuckles you see on veteran black belts, that isn't a badge of honor. It's a roadmap of scar tissue and chronic inflammation. So, what's the tangible prevention strategy? It's a multi-pronged attack. First, you have to manage your grip. That death grip mentality is your worst enemy. Learn to use grips strategically and, just as importantly, learn when to let go. A great tip is to mix in more no-gi training. It forces you to rely on natural grips and body position instead of clinging to fabric, giving your finger joints a much-needed vacation. Second, and this is non-negotiable, start taping your fingers. Research shows that proper taping provides external support to the ligaments and helps prevent hyperextension. Think of it as a flexible splint. Don't wait until you're hurt. Taping is a preventative tool, not a reactive one. Third, build more robust hands. This means more than just squeezing a stress ball. You need a dedicated grip training routine. Try plate pinches, farmer's walks with heavy kettlebells, and hand grippers with progressive resistance. This strengthens not only your forearm muscles, but also the tendons and connective tissues, making them more resilient. Finally, focus on mobility. Before you train, warm up your fingers. Simple drills like making a fist and spreading your fingers wide or doing finger circles increase blood flow and prepare the joints for work. It takes less than 2 minutes, and it's one of the easiest things you can do to protect your most valuable tools. The twisting trap, knees under siege. If finger injuries are the chronic, nagging pains of Jiu-Jitsu, then knee injuries are the catastrophic, season-ending explosions. They're the ones that can steal a year of your life in a single, gut-wrenching moment. Studies consistently show the knee is one of the most common sites of injury in BJJ, accounting for up to 25 to 32% of all injuries reported. The knee's vulnerability is in its design. It's a hinge joint, built to flex and extend, with very little room for rotation. Jiu-Jitsu, on the other hand, is a sport of violent, unpredictable rotation. The knee often gets caught in the crossfire between a planted foot and a twisting torso. Takedowns, aggressive guard passing, scrambles, and of course, leg locks all put huge rotational forces on the knee that it was never meant to handle. The most common and devastating injuries are to the ligaments. The MCL is often the first to go, usually from a force hitting the outside of the knee, a common scenario in takedowns. Then there's the big one, the ACL. An ACL tear is that classic pop that echoes across the mat, often happening during a sudden change of direction or when twisting out of a heel hook. The recovery is brutal, usually requiring surgery and 9 to 12 months of rehab before you can even think about rolling again. Alongside ligaments, the meniscus, the knee's shock absorber, is another frequent victim, often torn during a deep loaded twist. So, how do we prevent this? It requires a fundamental shift in how you prepare your body. The solution is to build a fortress around the knee joint. First, strength. Your muscles are the knee's armor. Consistently strengthening your quads, hamstrings, and glutes is directly linked to a lower risk of leg injuries. Your quads are shock absorbers. Your hamstrings work with your ACL to prevent your lower leg from sliding forward. Your glutes control your femur, preventing that dreaded inward knee collapse. A solid strength program 2 to 3 times a week isn't optional, it's essential. Squats, deadlifts, and lunges are critical, and hamstring-specific work like Nordic curls are proven ACL protectors. Second, mobility, but probably not where you think. Knee pain is often a symptom of problems at the hip or ankle. If your hips are tight and can't rotate, that rotational force travels straight down to the knee. If your ankles are stiff, it screws up your squatting mechanics, again loading the knee. A daily dose of hip and ankle mobility work is crucial to let the right joints do their jobs. Third, mat IQ. You have to train smart. This means choosing your partners wisely. It means being aware of dangerous positions. If you feel that sketchy pressure on your knee, don't tough it out, adjust or tap. This is especially true with leg locks. If you're not experienced, approach them with extreme caution. Tap early, tap often. There's no shame in tapping in training. There's only regret in sitting on the sidelines for a year because your ego wrote a check your knee couldn't cash. The silent strain, lower back breakdown. Our third major injury isn't always born from a single explosive moment. It's often a silent, creeping predator that builds its damage over thousands of reps. We're talking about the lower back. While different studies rank it differently, chronic lower back pain is an overwhelmingly common problem for BJJ practitioners, with some studies showing a prevalence as high as 81% in grapplers. It's the injury that can make it painful to sit, stand, sleep, and just live your life. The lumbar spine takes an incredible beating in Jiu-Jitsu. Think about it. You're forced into deep flexion playing guard, you hyperextend when bridging out of mount, and you're constantly twisting under load during scrambles. Getting stacked while in someone's guard puts immense pressure on your lumbar discs. Repeating these actions over and over can lead to serious problems, like disc herniations that cause debilitating pain and sciatica. The longer you train, the higher the risk of chronic back pain seems to be. The common belief is that more flexibility is the answer. People spend hours stretching their hamstrings and yanking on their lower back. While some flexibility is good, the primary cause of most non-traumatic back pain in BJJ isn't a lack of flexibility, it's a lack of stability. Your lower back gets hurt because it's being forced to do a job it was never designed for. The number one culprit? A weak core. Your core isn't just your abs, It's a 360-degree shield of muscle designed to protect your spine from moving dangerously under load. If that shield is weak, all the force from a takedown or a heavy guard pass goes straight to your spine's ligaments and discs. Eventually, they fail. The second culprit is weak glutes. Your glutes are your body's engine, built for powerful hip extension. Think bridging and shrimping. If they're weak, your body recruits your smaller, less capable lower back muscles to do the work, leading to strain and overuse. Therefore, the prevention strategy is all about building a rock-solid pillar of strength. First, prioritize core stability. I'm not talking about crunches. I mean exercises that resist movement. Planks, side planks, palaf presses, and dead bugs are your new best friends. The goal is to create a rigid torso that transfers force without leaking energy through your lower back. Second, build powerful glutes. Deadlifts, kettlebell swings, and hip thrusts should be staples. These teach you to generate power from your hips, taking the load off your lower back. A strong bridge isn't just an escape, it's a fundamental back protection mechanism. Third, look at your life off the mats. Sitting at a desk all day is a massive contributor to back pain. Your hip flexors get tight and your glutes switch off. This posture puts constant strain on your lumbar spine. Get up, walk around, and stretch every hour. Finally, listen to your body. Sharp, shooting, or radiating pain is not something to push through. That's an alarm bell. Respect it. It might mean avoiding inverted guard for a while or taking a few days off to let things calm down. We've just covered the science and prevention of the big three injuries in jiu-jitsu, but knowing is only half the battle. Doing is what keeps you on the mat. To make this as easy as possible for you, I've put all the key prevention strategies and exercises we talked about into a simple one-page PDF guide, the BJJ Longevity Checklist. It's a completely free resource. You can download it, stick it on your fridge, or save it to your phone to keep these ideas front and center before you train. To get your free copy, just click the link in the description below. It's my gift to you. Don't wait until you're on the sidelines. Download the checklist now and start building a more resilient jiu-jitsu journey today. The unspoken risk, BJJ neck injuries. Beyond the big three, there's another threat that every grappler must respect, where the stakes are uniquely high. The neck injuries are disturbingly common in BJJ, thanks to the very nature of grappling. Think about the intense pressure from being deep stacked, your neck compressed awkwardly into the mat. Think about the twisting force of a headlock, a neck crank, or a tightly sunk-in guillotine choke. Even a sudden takedown can snap your head back, causing whiplash and muscle strains. The damage can range from mild to career-ending. On one end, you have cervical strains and sprains, the stretching and tearing of the muscles and ligaments that support your head. But under more pressure, the discs between your vertebrae can bulge or even herniate. This can lead to facet joint sprains that cause sharp pain and severely limit your movement. The real red flag is nerve damage. If you ever feel tingling, numbness, or shooting sensations down your arm, that is not a pain to be ignored. It's a critical warning sign of potential nerve compression or a slipped disc, and it demands immediate medical attention. So how do you protect this critical structure? Prevention starts with awareness and conditioning. First, good technique is your best defense. Avoid putting yourself in positions where your neck is compromised, and learn how to properly defend submissions without sacrificing your spinal alignment. This means tapping before a choke becomes a crank. Second, you must strengthen the muscles around your neck. Just like a strong core protects your lower back, a strong neck acts as a shock absorber and stabilizer, preventing your cervical spine from being forced into dangerous positions. Targeted neck strengthening exercises are a must for any serious practitioner. Finally, rest and recover. Overuse is a major factor. If your neck feels sore or strained, take it seriously. Rest, ice, and proper medical evaluation are crucial. Long-term neck injuries can lead to surgery if they aren't managed correctly from the start. Your neck is not an area where you can afford to tough it out. The Kimura's curse, shoulders on the brink. Joining the list of high-risk areas is the shoulder, a joint caught between the intense demands of grappling and its own anatomical vulnerability. Shoulder injuries are frequent flyers in BJJ, stemming from the sport's signature joint manipulations and explosive movements. From the repetitive strain of controlling an opponent to the sudden impact of a takedown, your shoulders are perpetually in the line of fire. The primary culprits are submission holds that push the shoulder to its absolute limit. Kimuras, Americanas, and arm bars aren't just techniques. They are direct attacks on the shoulder's integrity, using extreme rotation and hyperextension. But the danger isn't just in submissions. Overuse, poor defensive posture, or the heavy impact of sprawling to defend a takedown all contribute to shoulder breakdown. The resulting damage can be devastating. We see rotator cuff strains and painful impingement syndrome from repetitive motion. Direct falls or impacts can cause AC joint sprains. The intense stress from joint locks can lead to labrum tears. And in the most violent moments, a sudden forceful throw or a poorly defended submission can cause a full shoulder dislocation. Protecting your shoulders requires a proactive, three-pronged defense. First, build armor through strength. The foundation of shoulder health is a strong and stable rotator cuff and surrounding musculature. Targeted strengthening exercises are non-negotiable for enhancing joint function and resilience against the unique forces of BJJ. Second, master your mobility. This includes not just stretching, but also practicing scapular control drills. A shoulder that moves correctly is a shoulder that can better absorb and dissipate force, preventing that force from destroying the joint itself. A proper warm-up routine with dynamic movements is essential to prepare the joint for the chaos of rolling. Third, raise your mat IQ. Technique is your greatest shield. Avoid putting yourself in vulnerable positions and, crucially, learn to recognize when a submission is locked in. Resisting a deeply applied Kimura out of ego is a direct path to injury. Rehabilitation is long, but a tap is instant. Most athletes can recover with proper care, but prevention is always the key to staying on the mat. The reality of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that the risk of injury is woven into the art itself. The same force that makes a choke work is the same force that can damage a joint. But this dark reality shouldn't be a source of fear. It should be a call to action, a push towards a smarter, more sustainable way to train. We've broken down the science behind the most common injuries, the chronic wear on our fingers, the devastating twists to our knees, and the silent strain on our lower backs. While we can't eliminate risk, we can dramatically reduce it. The answer isn't to train less, it's to train smarter. It's about recognizing that time in the weight room building a stronger core is just as important as time spent drilling. It's about understanding that a proper warm-up and mobility work aren't optional extras, they're essential. And it's about creating a mindset where your ego takes a backseat to your longevity, and where tapping early is a sign of intelligence, not weakness. BJJ is a journey of grit and growth. It doesn't have to be a journey of chronic pain. By understanding the science and using these strategies, you can take control. You can turn the odds in your favor. You can make sure you stay on the mat, training consistently, and enjoying this beautiful, chaotic art for life. The controversy is real, but the power to overcome it is in your hands.